Deathclaws are one of the deadliest creatures of the wastelands of Fallout, but what are they and how did they come to be? Well, sit back and relax because by the end of this video you'll know everything there is to know about them. Now, despite people thinking they are a result of a mutation brought on by radiation after the bombs fell, they were actually created pre-war by the US government as a cheap replacement for human troops during combat operations. Deathclaws were derived primarily from the Jackson's chameleon. However, although the project was successful in creating a ferocious predator capable of surviving on its own in the wilderness, there are no references of them ever being deployed in the battlefield. In the destruction that resulted after the Great War, Deathclaws escaped into the wild and quickly spread across the continent. The Enclave had no hand in the Deathclaws' creation as far as the Appalachian Enclave's research division knows, but they do note that the genetic manipulation looks similar to their own projects, and we know that by the time of Fallout 3 they can be found experimenting on them using some sort of mind control helmet, as we find Enclave soldiers and scientists with Deathclaws with these helmets on, and the Deathclaws are not hostile to them. Eventually they were refined by the Master through genetic manipulation and the forced evolutionary virus, also known as the FEV. Because initial reports were limited to a series of isolated nests, Deathclaws were viewed as legendary creatures by various inhabitants of Southern California. However, the population in the boneyard were very aware of their existence, as a lone den mother and her offspring claimed the area between Downey and Norwalk around 2161, keeping the gun runners in a checkmate while terrorising other communities in the region. As well as this, a single Deathclaw was found living near the outskirts of the hub, a major trading city in New California. They gradually spread throughout the wasteland until they were common knowledge, and everyone knew them as lethal predators not to be messed with. As I mentioned earlier, the Enclave also experimented on Deathclaws, continuing what the pre-war government started by developing intelligent Deathclaws for use in hostile environments. Around 2235, on May 17th, 2242, they successfully dropped the first pack of intelligent Deathclaws into Vault 13 to cloak the presence of the Enclave and their abduction of the dwellers within. Following their first combat test, these Deathclaws broke free of their Enclave masters, having become far more intelligent than anyone could have predicted. Once free, they began developing their own unique culture. However, their intelligence was soon discovered by Dr. Navarro, whose report led to the extermination of all intelligent Deathclaws with extreme prejudice. Deathclaws are a large carnivorous bipedal reptile species designed for maximum lethality. The decision to make them bipedal was because this would raise their head more than being on all fours, giving them a greater field of vision and therefore improving their ability to detect targets or resources. Another benefit to being bipedal is that it frees up their upper limbs to be fashioned into extremely deadly weapons, with each of their 5 fingers resulting in long talons to slice through enemies. This was achieved through genetic coding. They are extremely strong and muscular, and although they are bipedal, they are known to charge enemies on all fours. Their skin is very thick and tough, providing excellent defense against edged and blunt weapons, making attacking one without a firearm a very risky proposition, most likely resulting in the Deathclaw winning that fight. Even lower caliber guns may struggle to damage a Deathclaw, but in general, guns are the best option to defend against a Deathclaw. They live in packs and communicate using growls and body language, but they are also capable of mimicking human voices like a parrot, if their intelligence is heartily enhanced, as it was once the Enclave had done their genetic coding, as mentioned earlier in the video. They do not like loud noises and therefore do not tend to settle in places already inhabited by humans, preferring territories away from settlements due to the noise, but they may well choose to settle in temporarily abandoned human buildings and areas, as happened with the warehouses in the Boneyard in 2161 or at Junction Quarry in 2281. Once a pack of Deathclaws takes over and claims an area, it can be extremely hard to dislodge them, as the pack is led by an alpha male and alpha female, and they will defend their territory to the death. Even if the alpha female dies, the alpha male will not abandon their territory, and if the alpha male dies, the alpha female will simply choose the next strongest male in the pack to procreate with, and become the new alpha male. So to reclaim the territory, you have to kill both pack leaders, which will cause the rest of the pack to scatter, or wipe out the entire pack, neither of which is easy to do. I hope you found this video informative. I hope it wasn't too all over the place. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and consider subscribing for more videos like this. Any feedback's appreciated, even if it's negative. I'm always trying to improve. Have a great day.